The sound of crystal glasses clinking was supposed to mean celebration, but that night it felt like a verdict being passed. Mom raised her glass high, her voice honeyed with pride to my daughter, the one who's always been there for me. And then she turned, smiling at my sister. Laughter filled the table. My sister Olivia feigned humility. I stayed silent. I'd grown used to being the invisible one, the dependable shadow that everyone leaned on but never looked at. Then the waiter slid the leather bill folder in front of me, $1,980, the price of everyone else's indulgence. Olivia smirked. You don't mind covering it, right? You make more than me. The others waited, pretending to check their phones. And in that silence, I understood. They'd chosen their roles long before this dinner. I was the provider, the afterthought, the one expected to quietly pay the price, literally. I smiled, of course, but I didn't reach for my card. I reached for my phone. It started small. Mom would ask me to help Olivia, a temporary loan for her business idea. I gave her $5,000, then $10,000, then $20,000, always with the same promise. I'll pay you back when it takes off. It never did. Instead, I found out she'd used the money for designer bags and a trip to Greece, the one she'd posted on Instagram with the caption, "Hard work pays off." I confronted her. She laughed. You wouldn't understand. You're not a risk taker. When Mom took her side and said I should support my sister, something in me fractured. I stopped lending. I stopped sharing. I started watching. 6 months later, I caught wind of their next move. Olivia and Mom had co-signed a loan under my name, $40,000. They'd used my digital signature from a document I once sent them. When I confronted them, Olivia shrugged. Relax, we'll pay it off. You have good credit. I remember the way she said it, like it was a favor I should be proud to give. That night, I didn't cry. I opened a notebook and wrote one line at the top. They think I'm too quiet to fight back. And then I started planning. I stopped being reactive. I became patient, invisible again, but this time by design. First, I gathered evidence, screenshots, statements, loan documents, every lie, every signature, every message that proved intent. Then I opened a new company account under my name, of course, but listed the contact as Olivia and Associates. I hired her to consult on a fake project, one that I recorded. In those emails and voice notes, she bragged about creative accounting. It was all I needed. I sent it all, the statements, the voice notes, the forged documents, to the bank's fraud division and copied my lawyer quietly, efficiently, without warning. They froze her accounts within a week. Mom's co-signed credit line was under investigation. I didn't gloat. I just waited. When Mom texted about celebrating Olivia's new beginning, I almost laughed. Apparently, Olivia had convinced everyone she'd landed a big partnership, not knowing the company name she was flaunting was the one I'd set up for the sting. So I went, dressed simply, spoke little, and listened to every false word. And when the bill came, the moment they all expected me to bend to pay for their self-congratulation, that's when I decided it was time. I stood slowly, letting my chair scrape against the floor. The sound cut through the chatter like a blade. Actually, I said, my voice even, you might want to split the bill tonight. Olivia frowned. Excuse me? I looked at her. Then Mom, because after tomorrow none of your cards will work. The accounts are frozen. The bank's fraud department moves fast when they see forged signatures. The color drained from her face. Mom blinked, confused. What are you talking about? I leaned in. That partnership Olivia bragged about? That was my company. Every fake invoice, every consulting fee, all documented. You both signed off on fraud. So, I hope you enjoyed dinner. For a second, no one breathed. Then, I placed a sealed envelope on the table. Inside are copies of the documents. You'll want to review them before the police do. Olivia's hand trembled. What did you do? I smiled again. I just told the truth, something you've always been allergic to. The room was silent except for the sound of her shallow breathing. My brother stared at me, then at her, realization dawning. One of them whispered her name. She didn't look at them. She couldn't. I stood. Dinner was lovely, I said quietly. Thank you for dessert. Then I walked out. The sound of my heels against the marble floor was the only applause I needed. 2 weeks later, Mom called. Said Olivia was under investigation, her accounts drained by legal fees. Then she hesitated. You really hurt her. I looked out the window at the city glittering below. No, Mom. I taught her what it feels like to pay her own bill. And for the first time in years, the silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was peace.